What's up, y'all? This is gonna be fun. Welcome to the June Roll Call Livestream. We're calling this the Roll Call because there's so much stuff that we do during this time. We're gonna talk at you about some stuff. We're going to celebrate some wins. We're gonna give away some stuff. We're gonna even try to do call-ins. We got a lot planned, so sit back and relax. What's going on, Erica? Shout out to Erica, to Ethan, Murdoch, to James. What's going on? Dr. Severine, what's going on? How you doing? So a couple of housekeeping things here that we're going to kind of take care of real quick, which is, first of all, keep the engagement up. Consider it your ticket inside of this live stream. So the way to feed the YouTube algorithm beast is to hit that like button. You can even hit the dislike button. I don't really care. Hit a button though. When you get in, hit that button up or down one way or another. I would love if you do that. That'd be really, really appreciated. Again, consider it your mission ticket. We're doing this out of the goodness of our heart, and I love to do it. The other ways, let's see. So I want to make sure I'm going in order here. And forgive me, I am handling the chat on my own tonight. So if I don't see you, it's okay. If you're watching before, if you want to put like change in front of your comment, that's going to be career changer questions. If you want to hit like review in front of your comment, I may get to this at the end. You're going to have to really stick with me. And we'll look at your LinkedIn profile, give you some tips. Just want this to be helpful for the community of Jumpstart people that we are catering to. So hello, everybody. Good evening, wherever you're listening or watching from. If you're listening live, let us know. If you're watching the replay, let us know. Okay, so how are we going to do this thing? Well, the first thing I want to let you know is we will have some ways for you to show support. We're gonna try to do a call-in at the end after I kind of go through my little coaching session. So we'll have that going too. But you can obviously participate with the super chat. You can donate via super chat, and you can do buy me a coffee /Jumpstart. So some nice, interesting things there. We'll get the swag giveaway a little bit later. I think that's gonna be cool. You guys are gonna love that. Been working really hard behind the scenes along with the team. Heather, Jackie, everybody's just been working really hard. So, okay. What is this monthly roll call, Dominique? Because I used to watch you way back in the day and you were doing lives every Wednesday, and then you stopped that. You started inserting into the world this podcast of yours. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes to prepare, to disseminate, to curate all the content that I think may be helpful for the next generation financial professional, right? So I try to do my best with all that, and obviously I missed the mark. So charge it to my head and not my heart. I am really trying to take this call on a once a month basis, at least for now, to celebrate the wins of the community. People are getting jobs, people are getting internships, they are passing exams that they're studying really hard for, all the sacrifice that goes into it. And I want to celebrate that. I want to acknowledge you. I want to give you more momentum to keep on going down this path, because it can be a pretty lonely path. So I definitely want to do that. And we're also going to do, we'll always have a topic, right? So today, ironically enough, we're going to be talking about how do you provide value as a career changer, because a lot of you are like, okay, I've been doing, whatever for X amount of years, or I'm aspiring. I want to be this next generation financial professional you're talking about, Dominique. How do I present myself in the best light? How do I demonstrate value to the firm I'll be working for or the clients I'll be serving? All that kind of stuff. I want to talk about that tonight. And then we're going to answer your questions. I got some stuff that I've curated. My team and I have curated off of the many mediums that you guys engage with me on, which I definitely appreciate. They're all down the side there. You can kind of follow me on your platform of choice. I'll let you know that I probably won't be doing as much stuff on TikTok going forward. It's just too fast moving for me. But if you want to do that, that's great. Looks like Carol's joined us. What's going on, Carol? Where was I? Oh, yes. So we'll answer some questions. We will definitely try to save some time for the call in, where you basically, you'll just mute you'll turn your YouTube and all that other kind of stuff down, off, muted, whatever, and I'll give you a link to call into the show, and we'll just, you can either pop on camera, which I would prefer, or not. Everybody should be able to hear your question, and I'll answer your question. So it's a variety show of sorts that has a lot of different angles in it. So just stay tuned. You might be in your dinner time or traveling from home or traveling from work. So, we'll be here. We're not going anywhere. I do have something to do after this, believe it or not, with my early bedtime. One of my latest podcast recordings. So we're going to do that a little bit later. But I plan to be here to, hanging out for the next couple of hours. So definitely stay tuned. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Okay. What is going on, Pocket Watching with JT? Hey there, everybody. I'm really happy everybody's showing up here. This is cool. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Let's get into some announcements first. So let's hit the announcements. And by the way, guys, you're gonna see me looking around because I got like a billion things going on. So again, don't think that I'm distracted. I'm not paying attention to you. But I do have a lot going on. We'll see how this first one goes. I might have to enlist some help, which I'm going to talk about in just a second here, because we got a lot of changes coming up in Jumpstart, because we're always making it better. So let's talk about, I'm going to switch my screens around here. Let's talk about the cohort, because that's probably one of the things that you may or may not know about, depending on how long you've been in Jumpstart. So just a show of hands in the chat, how many current cohort or alumni cohort people do we have in the chat? I want you guys just chime in there. I don't want people that are watching this on the replay to think that I'm blowing smoke. Like, we actually really have something that we do for people to help them prepare for this journey as a next-gen financial professional. So we got some alumni here, and they can chime in. But so basically, the summer cohort is going to be as previous cohorts. Let me just kind of back up a little bit. So every 10 to 12 weeks, Carol's a winter alumni cohort. James is currently in there. Erica also winter alumni. So what I do every 10 to 12 weeks, I take a certain amount of career changers, aspiring financial professionals, next-gen professionals that are saying, hey, Dominique, in the next 12 to 18 months, I want to make the leap as a financial professional. I don't know if I want to be a coach or advisor or educator or whatever, but I need to understand everything that goes into this financial services industry. So when I sit down for an interview, or when I'm looking for a mentor, or when I'm starting my firm, like, I'll know what to do. And I put together some curriculum that is designed to help you find your path through this maze of stuff. There's a labyrinth of information out there, guys, and I realize that. And so the course is really designed to take you through that in a bite-sized format. Now, what I've been doing, at least I did for the last cohort, and I will do it again, is what is called the Jumpstart Accelerator. So this is kind of like the precursor. And people have asked me, what is the difference between the accelerator and the professional development program? Like, can you explain that, Dominique? I have a good illustration for you. So if you've ever seen a spaceship take off, right? Like, so they're in Cape Canaveral or wherever they are, and they have the spaceship as the, kind of like the main thing. And then they have these rockets on the side of them. And then the rockets, when they take off, the rockets blow it all up into space, right? And what you see is the acceleration of the spacecraft into space based on all the momentum that the rockets have given them. And then eventually the rockets kind of fall off and the spaceship goes into space. The accelerator is like a rocket. It is going to excel or speed up your path, because what I've realized is there's just a ton of information inside of the professional development program. And so the accelerator is going to give you some guidance through mentorship. We've gotten people that have gone through this that are where you were, 6, 9, 12 months ago, whatever. and they're willing to share their story with you, share their experience. I'm also going to hop in and give you a career consultation to help you with the this part. We're going to give you access to the webinar so you can kind of watch that. So we got some things that help prime you for finding your path, right? That's what it's all about. We want you to be set up for success. So all that to say, that's going to begin very, very soon. So if you are interested in that, what you need to do is you need to go here, and I'm just going to make this real big so everybody can see it. This right here. We're going to do an information session, and you want to make sure that you're on this list. So go to that website, www.thejumpstartcoachinglab.com/roadmap. And that is the waiting list. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to do anything at that point. You just need to sign up for the waiting list, because I will notify you about what's going to be the next step. And that's happening very, very soon. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, shout out to Mr. Pocket Watching with JT Real Accountants for this super chat. Thank you, my brother there. I really appreciate you. I love mentoring the next generation of financial professionals. It's a joy, man. So I appreciate you very much. Okay. I actually have some more announcements before we get into our content. How about that? Okay. So let me see how I want to say this. Let me take my little sip of water before I go further. Okay. So there is a lot of different things going on social media. You got Facebook groups, you got Instagram, TV, you got all this different stuff. And I try to, find the best medium to get you guys' attention. And I think I'm doing an okay job. It can definitely be improved. But what I would love to have is an advisory board. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be opening up like an open call. There will be some parameters. I'm not going to accept everybody. I'm going to give you a couple of these in a minute. But the point is, I want a group of individuals that are willing to lend their time, their expertise to me to improve this community going forward. And what I realize is I can't do this by myself. There's 10,000 people on this channel. There's 1,500 people on my email list. There's 850 people in the Facebook group. There's a lot of people, and I want to give those that need the help the most, I want to give my attention to them. And so I'm forming this advisory council. Don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe the Jumpstart Advisory Council, because everything has to start with Jumpstart. That's the way I love to brand things. But this will be individuals that will basically help me moderate this growing community, because we are filling needs, guys. On the back end, what you don't ever see is all the conversations that I have with, corporate sponsors and RIAs and all these things, all these different stakeholders that are looking at this growing community and saying, oh, I think I'm going to be able to find my next talent there. Or, oh, hey, Dom, do you have this type of person in your community? So I'm doing this all on the back end, and I need help. So you'll be seeing that. If you're interested in that, you can send an email to hello@jumpstartcoachinglab.com. Some other things you'll get free preview too is we're going to be moving the community out of Facebook. Zuckerberg is okay, but I found something much better, I believe, and we'll be doing that. And I'll be looking for some beta testers. We'll probably open up beta towards the end of this month. It'll probably be after the launch, because I got a lot of stuff going on. So cohort launch first, open up the beta group for the new Jumpstart community, which you're going to love and enjoy. I want to get the feedback of the advisory council for that. There's so much stuff going on. That's why this is the place to be. If you are a next-gen financial professional, you're looking to serve your client at the next highest, best level, find your imprint where you can go do things, be impactful, make a difference, fulfill your purpose. This is the place you need to be. Hands down, no question asked. I feel really confident about what we're building here, and I'm so glad that everybody's a part of it. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna move to another part of the agenda, and we're gonna celebrate some wins. We're going to answer some comments before I get into the topic of today, and so let's do that. I think I need some theme music for this. But let's see how you guys like this. Let's see. Give me a second here. I haven't really scripted this part out, guys. I was gonna kind of hang out. So my theme music that I've bought and paid for is the following. So we got that. So maybe we kind of run that in the background while we're doing everything here. The only thing about it is I don't know if I can turn it down a little bit. I want to turn it down. There we go. See, that's kind of like a little fun music that you can do while you're doing the celebrations and things like that. Is it too distracting, guys? Kind of give me some feedback here. I'm just trying to see how we're going. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. Just kind of want to make it background. There we go. Okay. So this is the section where we've had individuals that have done some things that I want to acknowledge. And you can always participate in this, right? So we've talked about this. And of course, I don't have the website right now. I think it's like, just send an email. Jackie, if you're in the chat, can you pop in the share your wins, the win share? I think it's the jumpstartcoachinglab.com/win share. So if you have done anything like a internship, secured a job, passed a test, I want to acknowledge that. So you need to send those over, and that is the way that will work. Thanks, Dr. Seb. So you said music sounds good. There's some reverb though when you go to this setup. Okay. I think it's because. Oh, you know what? I know why it is. Let's see if that works better. See if the reverb went off. I think I had two mics going instead of one. All right, Jackie's going to put that in the chat. Okay, so let's go with our first 3 people for this June that I want to acknowledge. Give me a second here. Let's get it all up and gussied. All right, so I think the way I got to do this. There we go. So I think Dean Moon's actually last. Give me a second. If you're all watching. Okay. First, we got Anjali Ramsey. Yeah, there we go. All right. So Anjali Ramsey. Oh, it goes away. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. Okay. So let's do the theme music once again here. I think when I hit my sound effects, the theme music goes away. So I'm going to have to find a way to do that differently. But anyways, so Anjali passed her Series 65 exam. So everybody give her a hand there. And Anjali's been a part of the community for over a year now. Ex-military and just a really great person. One of our Jumpstart ambassadors. If you're watching, shout out to Anjali for the work she does. She's even helping me in DJH Capital Management. So she's doing a lot. She's mentoring current cohort members. So kudos to Anjali for passing the Series 65 exam. Next, we have Karen Ortiz de la Casas. So Karen has been a part of the community for a while also. She got hired for a Fortune 500 company as a junior financial analyst. So hands to Karen. So this is, I think what's interesting about her scenario, if I remember correctly, she was differentiating between whether or not she would go back to school and all these different things. So she had a lot of stuff going on in her place. So this has kind of been a long time coming. So kudos to her for securing a job. Again, hada for Karen. Okay, and then last but not least, we got Dean Moon, who's been a part of the community for a while. Also, don't think we're in the Facebook group. You're definitely on the YouTube channel and the email list. And we're friends on LinkedIn, so that's how I knew. He just he checked in with me and was like, hey, I'm working on my CHFC, and I've gotten 3 courses down in the last 12 months. And I was like, dude, that's definitely worth celebrating. So hands to all those people that have done all that hard work there. It's stellar, man. I know that this is a very, very difficult, long road, and you have a lot of stakeholders along the way. I mean, there's just, you got your friends and family, you got, your employer possibly, you got, all these different people that are invested in you, that are used to, like, let's say some portion of your time being spent with them, that, kind of goes away when you start down this path sometimes. And that's hard. That is like extremely hard. And I want to acknowledge that because I know that, sometimes you put those sacrifices in and they're not always affirmed. So this is definitely a place where you can get affirmed. All right. So here we go. Yes. Thank you guys I'm looking at the chat that's got all the congratulations there. You guys are great. I appreciate you. Okay. So now we're going to move to some comments. Actually, what do I want to go through? Let's see. I think I want to, let's see, we're at 7:20 right now. I'm really ahead of schedule, guys, just so you know. I think I want to do this because I don't want to forget. Okay? So give me just a second here. Let's do some more theme music while I cue this up.
Can I get an amen?
Oops. I didn't mean to do that. We can get an amen, though, if we want to. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say we're going to do a giveaway for a swag box. And I'm going to show you what you get in the swag box. Give me just a second here. So I'm going to do that. Okay, almost done, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, so we're going to do a giveaway. And what you're going to have to do in order to win this prize is you're going to have to text your best guess of a number between 1 and 500 to 214-544-9226. Okay? That is the instructions. Text a number from 1 to 500 to 214-544-9226. And the closest to, I don't know. I'm going to let Jackie decide. Jackie is unbiased, and she'll just, Jackie, why don't you stick the number that you're guessing inside of our Slack channel, and whoever's the closest to that number without going over wins the swag box. Now, what's in the swag box, Dominique? I'm so glad you asked. So let's transition here one more time. Let's see, I'll stop my theme music. And let's go to this. And in the swag box will be this. You'll get a nice podcast mug. Can everybody see that? The Conversations for Financial Professionals podcast mug. That's what you'll get. You'll get you some hand sanitizer so you can stay clean and sanitized. Okay, that right there too. And you're going to get a COVID mask that has Jumpstart on it. See that? All right. And we're going to get you a journal, okay? The Jumpstart journal so you can, put down all your great ideas from all these live streams that we do. Okay. So that is what is going to be inside your swag box. So text your number to, let me go back to where we were. Yeah, there we go. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to text a number from 1 to 500, okay, to that number there, okay? All right. Yes, James. Actually, James, I don't know, you weren't on my form, but you did. I do remember this. Give me a second here. Let's show you some love, my man. James also passed the, wait a minute here. I want a different color on my comments here. Hold on a second. Give me a minute here. Wait for it. Actually, let's just do this. There we go. Okay, so James passed the Series 65 also, actually around the same time as Anjali, because I remember the email chain or the email thread. So good for you, man. Applause for you. And you get a DJ air horn. You get both. I think one of the things that I like about working with individuals inside of the Jumpstart Coaching Lab is I get to find out all these different things about people and all the interesting stories, as I would say. So, and James, you're no different, my friend. So, great stuff. Okay, don't forget the text. Let me see if anybody's blowing up the text lines yet. I don't want to forget you guys. Somebody's going to have to remind me. Yep, they're coming in. Somebody's going to have to remind me by the end of the show to not forget the swag. I will announce it, and I'll get your address, and Jackie and I have sent your stuff out. We'll definitely take care of you. Okay, let me get back to the show. You guys can tell I'm having way too much fun. Way too much fun. Okay, so let's before we get into the topic, I want to go through some comments that I got, and I won't go through all of these, but I will go through some of them. Give me a second here. I want to get you guys take, and I want to opine on some of this stuff a little bit, if I can pull it up. I'm having issues right now. All right, here we go. So let's see. Do we want to talk about this one? I think that one can wait. Let's see about this. That one can wait. Give me a second, guy. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna look at this comment here. This is from. I'm trying to see where I can put this so it won't cover my face. Is that good enough? Actually, let me take this off real quick. That'll help. Okay. So, Mojica Roundtable or Mojica. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to go with Mojica. Fire information. Honestly, this is from a video watched. Honestly, a lot of advisors are still traditional in the sense that they may not even understand the upside of branding, marketing, testimonies, etc. But a lot of other people's light bulbs are going off as how they're going to reach more people to work with. This was on the back of a podcast that I recently did about marketing. And I guess I'm curious as to what you guys think about marketing yourselves when it comes to your financial services, the firm you work for, yada, 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 all that stuff. I'm actually kind of curious. I wanted to bring that up because I think Mojica or Mojica raises a great point with the changing in the industry. And I think what people are going to have to do is get used to what those changes are and how they are going to adapt to them and the whole nine. I think it's just going to be really interesting going forward. But I would love to hear what you guys think on that. You can put that in the chat there. Let's take another one. All right. I think, let's do this one. This is actually a pretty lengthy one. Thanks again, Jackie, for putting this up. Okay. I thought I heard you mention in one of your podcasts that there are a number of young financial planners who don't want to deal with investments and refer their clients to those who can. Is that true? I know you mentioned you worked for a hedge fund and have experience with investments, so it is more natural for you. It seems like it would be the opposite, and younger financial planners would be interested in learning investments and everything. Are you seeing that among millennials who are starting their RIAs or working for firms? Just curious about this and wondering what your insight might be. So a lot to unpack here, but first of all, yes, there is this, I would say, contingent of people that want to do financial advice but don't want to do investment advice. So there are rules around that, and I've done a lot of stuff in the past on that, so we won't go too deep. But I guess the point is that is an okay thing to do, and that is true that you can do that. Now, as far as seeing millennials who are starting their RIAs and working for other firms, and maybe wanting to learn the investments versus not wanting to learn the investments. I think this all boils down to preference, excuse me. I think at the end of the day, you do good to start with your why. I've talked about that plenty of times. I think all the with all the different things that you can do in this industry, you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one particular specialization too early. Now, I'm all for niching and specialization. However, when you're talking about somebody that's aspiring and they're just trying to get their feet wet, they don't know what they want to do probably for the first couple of years. So it's okay to dip your toe in investments, tax planning, education plan, retirement income, life insurance, risk management, all budgeting. Just dip your toe in all of them. See which one you like the best. So that's kind of where I would take that. Let's see, what else? Let's see what this one says. We'll do one more. This is from Yaya, and then we're going to get into our content. Yaya on the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Okay. Hi, I'm about to complete my finance degree. I was wondering, what job do you think would give me the most human interaction? I'm definitely not interested in hedge fund or corporate finance. Also, can you do a video with insights on what interviews for finance jobs are like? Okay, thank you, Yaya, for your comment. I usually let my team decide what videos I'm going to do unless I just feel inspired. So what you should do, you can always send requests to hello@Jumpstart Coaching Lab. It's just so odd that I end up randomly picking your question to see that you wanted me to do a video on finance jobs. I'll tell you this, the best way to do this is not to listen to somebody that's been employed for a very long time like myself. The best thing to do is to jump in the community and start asking around the different, next gen financial professionals existing or aspiring that are getting mentorship, going on job interviews, participating in the FPA externship. That's the people that you want to talk to, actually. So they would be much better at discussing that than I would, because again, it's been a very, very long time since I've sat across the table and interviewed for a position. So there's that. All right. Now, what job gives the most human interaction? Definitely a client-facing sales, business development type of role. I mean, that's just the honest truth. I probably threw in a bunch of terms that nobody wants to really discuss because people feel a certain way about sales or business development. But if you're in front of clients, if you're client-facing, that's going to be by far your most human interaction. And there's a lot of different companies that will train you on their products or services and throw you to the wolves. Some will do it a little bit more gently, but the point is that will be the best way to do that. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. Now what we're finna dig into, ladies and gents, if you're still with me. Okay, so let me make sure. Give me a minute here. All right. So we're still hanging in the chat. If you're joining us in the chat, make sure when you come in, you hit that like button. That is your ticket, so to speak, if you will, for joining in. All right. Give me a second here. I'm looking for something and I can't find it. I'm missing there we go. Okay, so today's topic is how to, actually, hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry, I'm teasing you. I just want to go through my agenda just to make sure. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Reverb's off. I don't know why that mic keeps on coming on. I think it comes on as I switch scenes. So I'll just have to be mindful of that mic because I'm using two mics. Okay. There we go. Thank you, though. I appreciate you guys letting me know about the reverb. All right. So how do we want to set this up? I was going through my agenda real quick. Give me a second. I think we're done. Okay. So tonight's topic is going to be, what can you do to provide value as a career changer? And so there's a couple of ways I want to play this. I have some real fresh thought around this because today I interviewed a firm owner, and that was the topic of our interview. This is going to be airing for season 3 podcast. Shout out to Lawrence Smith of ELS vision wealth management. We had a really, really good conversation around, how do career changers provide value to firm owners? What are firm owners thinking? What's their wish list? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to give you guys a preview of that in just a second. But also, I have a big picture idea around this, and I'll share that very shortly. Matter of fact, I'll share it now. Let me share it now, and then we'll go into the video that I have, and then we'll move from there. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen. I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to share my screen. So give me a minute. All right. So there we go. I want to do this. Okay, guys. All right, there we go. Appreciate you being patient with me. I'm now behind it, which that is not going to work. Hold on. Let's do this. So many fun tools, but you also have to know how to work them. So, okay, so I'll stay over here and we'll put this up like this. How about that? There we go. Okay, so this is a really good book if you have not read it, and it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It's not a new book by any means, but the idea, and I think I've talked about this before, the idea around this is finding your superpower or your zone of genius. And if you do well, per this book, in my opinion also, to find how you can spend most of your time in the top half of this quadrant here, right? In the top half of this hemisphere. When you're operating in your zone of incompetence, of zone of competence, you're really kind of wasting time. You're not being as efficient with your time as you could be. Let's put it that way. So I want you to keep that big idea in your brain, in your frontal cortex, whatever, as we move through this discussion, because this is how you create value for your potential firm owner or even your client. You got to start thinking from the standpoint of, how do I help a person stay in their zone of excellence, zone of genius, and take the things that they don't do well, zone of competence or zone of incompetence. By definition, zone of competence is things that they don't necessarily, they do things well, it's just others can do them better than them. So just to clarify that. Let's keep moving. But as a career changer moving into this industry, what you want to do is you want to find the things that, for instance, a firm owner has in his or her zone of incompetence or zone of competence, and you want to do those things for them. That's how you can become very valuable. Okay, so that's the big idea here. I'm teasing you a little bit, but I want you to get where I'm going with this. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna move to hopefully I can set this up perfectly, and we won't have a lot of
I'll sleep well tonight.
Okay, here we go. This is a coaching call that I did not too long ago, and I'm only going to play a few minutes of it. These are people that are in my professional development program, and we teed this up last month. So this is the reason why you want to be in the professional development program, because you're getting extra stuff. Okay? All right, so give me a minute. Let me move towards Google Chrome. Okay. I think this is going to work, guys. Yes. Okay. All right, so we're going to listen for a little bit. We're going to listen for a little bit, and then I'll come back in, okay?
That's not what I want. Give me a second. All right. Considering your existing skill set and transferable skills. So this is a personal question here. How would you begin to identify how you can become an asset to the firm, right? So what I want you to be thinking about, this is not necessarily you have to answer now, but you might want to start going through your repertoire of functional skills things that you've developed in industry as you're growing up, as a parent, as a father, whatever, that marries to what a firm owner would need, would find valuable, things of that nature. Because I think that's a good starting place. You don't have to learn a new skill necessarily, right? You just need to learn how it fits into the key of financial services, right? And that could be, you know, if I were me 10 years ago, we would have took.
Okay, so I'm setting you up for this discussion about what is most valuable. Okay, so in that group call, we talked about that. Now, what I want you guys to know is there is a mindset around the career changer that is not necessarily selfish. I think it's just unaware. And so I want to hopefully deposit into you guys some awareness so that when you're sitting in front of a firm owner, and excuse me, I'm on my phone real quick. When you're sitting in front of a firm owner or across from a person that's going to give you a job, that you have what we're about to talk about in the forefront of your mind, because it's going to position you differently inside the conversation. They're going to notice your awareness. They're going to appreciate this awareness. And I think you're going to be rewarded for it. Okay. So here's the deal. As a firm owner, and I was able to confirm this with a colleague today, as a firm owner, when I make my hire, when I decide to bring somebody on to my firm as a new person, let's say they were a career changer, I am going to have negative ROI, return on my investment, for probably 6 to 9 months. Not only is there salary and benefits going out the door, which, you know, that's table stakes, right? But there's my time, there's my energy. I'm doing different trainings. I may even be pulling other team members away from what they're doing in their highest best use in order to help train this person. And this is all part of the game. So I'm not saying that firm owners don't necessarily want to do it. They realize they have to do it. But I don't think there's an appreciation from the career changer or the aspiring financial professional that this is what's actually going on and this is what's actually taking place. And this is the decision tree that predicates whether or not I'm going to bring somebody on, is if can I spend this time. And so what you would do well to do and position yourself to have as this awareness are a few things. The first is being able to understand who the vision of that firm. Who is the firm owner trying to attract? Why are they trying to attract them? And where are their weak spots in that strategy, right? So let's say you have a firm owner that is, trying to reach, baby boomers or people that are, less than 12 months away from retirement or something like that. I don't know. Just riffing here. But what you find out is they have no presence on Facebook. And we already know that there's, almost 4 billion people on Facebook, a lot of them being baby boomers. So for them not to have a Facebook page or any of this kind of stuff. Now, this is probably the not sexy stuff of you joining that firm. Intern work, if you will. However, if you can endear yourself, going back to that picture again of the big leap, the zone of genius. Do I need to pull it back up? It's just going to be too difficult for me to, Actually, hold on a second. Let me see. Because I want to reference that. I think that's germane to this topic that we're talking about. All right. So if we're talking about this, again, your zone of excellence here is a very, very key thing to have. Your zone of genius, zone of excellence is the very thing, the key thing to have. But when you join that firm, you very well need to be thinking about what that particular firm owner's or that firm's zone of incompetence or zone of competence is. Because when you assume those and start to kind of cover their weaknesses or fill in the gaps for where they don't have expertise, then you make yourself extremely valuable. It doesn't mean that you're not going to eventually sit across from clients, or maybe prepare some financial plans, or get into the financial software, or whatever, that we associate financial planning advice, all that kind of stuff to be. But the point is that kind of stuff is so helpful for the firm owner, because these are all the things that as a firm owner, I just don't want to do. I don't have time to do them. That's not my highest and best use. And to be in front of clients is where I would rather be. So again, the aspiring financial professional, you do well to figure out where that firm is deficient, lacking. Like, one good interview question might be, or when you're in that dialogue or in the interview process, be like, what do you guys feel like you're not really good at? What do you guys feel like you need improvement on? That's a really good question to ask. It may seem like it's a weird question to ask, or you'd be like, I don't want to ask that question, but you'd be surprised the answer you may get back, because that is probably what they want to focus on. I'm going to pick on Erica, because I know that she shared with me about an opportunity she has, and the firm owner that she's going to be working with wants to have a presence on social media. So what has Erica been doing? She's been studying different strategies around social media, so that when she arrives there, she can hit the ground running with being able to help them with that strategy. So I think you have to start thinking that way. And now, granted, let me just say this as a disclaimer. I realize that the reason you want to get into financial planning is not so you can be a social media manager, or come up with the next Facebook post, or organize a social calendar, or whatever, mundane tasks that you think are associated with that firm's zone of incompetence or zone of competence. I totally get that. But you won't be doing this forever. This is just so that you can endear yourself, make yourself invaluable to that person, so that even if you're not working for them, that if you needed to get a recommendation from them for the work that you did do, all they have is glowing things to say is, I really wish I had a fit for this person here. They would be my next hire because of blah, 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 right? So you have to kind of be thinking about it from that standpoint. And I know it may be somewhat of an unconventional way of thinking about this, but again, this is something that I eat my own cooking. So let me tell you a story. So back in the day, I was working for somebody, and I end up finding this job through a colleague that I worked with before. Well, here was the dilemma. And using the zone of excellence, zone of genius, zone of competence, zone of incompetence diagram, their zone of incompetence was that they had a vast database of prospects and clients, specific to their clients, but the data was everywhere, right? We had email addresses in this system, addresses, in this system, how much they actually had in their accounts in another system, just all over the place. Well, one of the skill sets I developed while I was working in the operations department of a hedge fund is SQL databases, Excel spreadsheets, VLOOKUPs, all that stuff. How to create a relatable database with just mounds of data. I knew how to do that. And what they needed is they needed to consolidate all the information they had in one spot, so that when they got ready to move from the wirehouse to the broker-dealer hybrid situation they were going to, that they could take all that data, throw it into a system, and spit out forms for what the client needed to fill out and move their accounts over to the new firm, right? So whenever you're doing an account transfer, you got all these different fields, address, email, phone number, network, all these things that need to be filled out. And they had the information, they just didn't know how they were going to get it into the form. And so what I came along and did in my first 90 days is understood that project, got all the project requirements, created the consolidated database, and then moved all this information over, and took a project that was probably going to take, the better part of 6 months, and did it inside of 45 days. And so the firm owner was just like astonished that I was able to do that. And it set me up for so much success with that firm. I stayed there for 6 years. I got deep into the six figures. I was responsible for 200 client families, a third of $500 million under management by the time I left. I got a lot of responsibility, and it all started with showing my value to that firm owner with something that was their zone of incompetence and their zone of competence, and allowing him to stay in his zone of genius and his zone of excellence and not have to worry about that. So that's definitely something you guys want to think about when you're walking into the, and what this means, how do I get there, Dom? Okay, I'm about to tell you. What this means is you're going to have to study the firm. You're going to have to research this firm. You're going to have to look up their ADV. You're going to have to be on their website. You're going to have to look at what they're posting on LinkedIn. You're going to have to look at the firm members and find out their LinkedIn profiles or their social media. You're going to have to do some cyber stalking, as I call it. Okay? But as you're collecting this information, you're going to be learning a lot of different things about that firm and the type of firm you want to work for, potentially. And so all this stuff that I'm telling you guys is the things that I think are going to put you ahead of the curve, because everybody's, sending a one-liner or a two-liner on LinkedIn and asking, hey, will you be my mentor, and all this other kind of stuff. I want you guys that are plugged into this community to have the upper hand. I want you guys to stand out. Even if you're not in the professional development program, or you don't work with me, or you don't buy one of the products or services, like, I feel that there's enough of free information inside of the community, as far as live streams or podcast or whatever, to give you guys a leg up on the competition, because we want you guys to be that next generation financial professional. Okay, so yes, I'm finally getting back to the chat. Thanks, you guys. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm just reading back through. Carol, you actually accepted assistant financial planning position at an RIA in January, and it was the best decision you ever made. Jumpstart gave you the confidence to make the leap. Thank you. That is so great. Here, we're going to give you applause for that. What happened to my sound effects? Sound effects. There we go. All right. Okay. I think we're going to move to call-ins. I think we're ready to do that. What do you guys think about call-ins? Are you guys ready for call-ins? Let's see. I am going to, let's see. I think I have a different deal here. Okay. So what's going to happen is, if you choose to call in and you do your video, you're going to pop up on screen where that number one is, right there. You'll be in that spot, okay? And so, and if you don't want to, then I'll just go back to my, I'll go back to this screen, okay? All right. I'll turn my theme music off. But that's what we'll do. That's how we'll do that. Yeah, I'll make sure the reverb is not going back and forth like that. I think it just happens when I switch scenes, so I have to fix that going forward. Okay. So, if we're going to do call-ins, you got to know how to do it. Okay, so let me put this information up. This is how you do the call-in. Wait a minute. This is not working like I wanted to. Hold on. Let's go back to this and then this. Okay, here we go. So, call-ins will work like this. You'll go to that link that's on the top. Let's just make it easy. You'll go to this link that's right there. And after you click on that link, it'll ask you to put your name in, which you'll need to do. And it will put you into my virtual green room. Okay? And what we can talk about is a couple things. If you have a question, we can talk about that. If you want a very quick, cursory review of maybe like your LinkedIn profile or something like that, we can do that. Or if you want to, let me see, what was the other thing that I had? I think we'll keep it there. We'll keep it there on. This was the other thing. I'm sorry, I forgot. The other thing is, if you had any particular comments around the topic of bringing value, maybe you have a story or something like that. All those are the things that are fair game to share. Everything else, just drop it in the comment section, and we'll get to it at some juncture point in time. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. So we want to keep the show topic as is. So we're talking about value for the career changer, and so we want to keep it around that. Before we hop into that, though, I did want to I want to set the stage for something. Where is it? Man, I forgot some extra wins, and I apologize to Steve Hawk and Steve. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your last name if you're watching, and Tim Dorner. We got time. Let me go back to that. Okay. You can still call in. Just come to the green room, and we'll pick you up. Don't worry about that. I just want to acknowledge all these people. I have a folder here that I forgot to pull up. So Steve says, "Hey Dominique, I just wanted to check in and say hi. I finally made it through all my exams." He's got the Washington, looks like Life and Health, SIE, the Series 7, and the Series 66. Dude, you've been busy. And finally got my financial planning career started. Thanks for all the info you put out. Talking with you a few months back was motivating. Have a great Sunday. All right, so appreciate you there, my friend. There we go. Another Jumpstart win. So perfect. Really happy to hear that. So congratulations to Steve there for all his hard work and progress there. Give me a second. I found another one here. This one is, I don't know how to make this smaller. It's going to be covering my face a little bit. You can see me peeking over it. Okay. So this is from Tim Dorner. Tim was in a past cohort. Tim, were you in the... Tim, I think you were in the winter cohort. Yes, you were in the winter cohort with Carol and Erica. So I just started up as an advisor with Northwestern Mutual. So yeah, we should actually had you on the big board, my friend. I've been working on the language a lot and just started to have some meetings with friends and family members. It's going pretty well so far. Thanks for asking. I definitely feel like I have more industry knowledge than my peers who are just starting out themselves. I hope that I maintain a leg up throughout my career due to your course. I should definitely skim through the course again so I can better implement some of the lessons. Perfect, man. This is the kind of thing, and I've always said this is, the professional developer program is one of those things where you're going to come to the table, you're going to eat like Thanksgiving, you're going to go, you're going to push back, and then you're going to come back later, and then you're going to go back for seconds and thirds, and it's designed to be that way. So you have lifetime access, and I'm so happy that it is helping people. So let's go to here. Okay. All right. I put the call to end stuff back up. I don't know. What do you guys want to do with that? We'll look through that. And I'll also be going through comments while we're doing that. So let's just start at the top. Where are we? Scrolling through. Oh, yeah. Thanks, James. I think you would be a good candidate for this. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I'm answering your comment about would love to help you help others. So I think you'd be an excellent candidate for the advisory board, my friend. Some reverb comments there. We're going through. Wash hands. Okay. Oh, a lot of congratulations. Okay. Not a lot of questions here. You guys don't have any questions tonight? Scrolling through the comments here. All right, so I do have some stuff from earlier, though. So let me pop into that. So I did a couple of polls, and I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. So here's poll number 1. This was inside. I did one of them inside my own Facebook group, and then I did another one inside a group that I'm part of. I can't remember which one was which. So this one was, what do you feel is what firm owners find valuable? What we kind of talked about tonight, and many people said experience. A lot of people said personality. I don't really know how that plays. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. What do you mean by personality? Because, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of ways we can go with that. We could we could definitely unpack it. Certifications and licenses. We got 3 votes on that. We got education. Work ethic was another thing in there. So that was one poll. And then in a similar group, I did this same question and got slightly different answers. Give me a second here. Okay, so what do you feel firm owners find valuable? Once again, results was the other answer here. This got 8 votes. Experience hits again. We got certifications and licenses again. Ability to get clients. So what do you guys think? I'm curious. What do you guys think based on what I said tonight? Obviously, you've chimed in on some stuff. And you've heard what obviously what my spiel was on the big leap, the zone of competence, zone of genius, and all that kind of stuff. What are you guys thinking right now firm owners would find valuable in relation to some of these poll answers? I think this is it's interesting that the whole experience thing, this is why I think it's interesting. Well, when I talk to people, I talk to a lot of people that say that and I got to figure out how to turn my music off when that happens. Okay, so I talk to a lot of people that want to go down CFP path, and that's fine, or any other path for that matter, any educational path. And then I ask them, well, have you tried to find a job, or have you been looking? And they're like, no, I definitely want to do the education first. So the poll says differently. I guess I'm just kind of a little confused by that, because most people I talk to feel comfortable with, getting the book knowledge in, getting the education in first versus going to get an experience. Maybe they think it's too hard to find a job or all these different things. I don't know. You guys can kind of chime in on what you think on that. It was a very interesting poll as far as the answers were concerned. I thought I would get different answers. Let's put it that way. James, we'll add you to the podcast, my sir. Okay. Is Primerica okay to start? Well, I think just about any place is okay to start, as long as you are not doing anything that is either morally or ethically incorrect or wrong. Okay? So at the end of the day, you do have to be able to sleep at night. You can't feel bad about what you're selling or representing to the public. So that's the first thing. If you pass the muster of that, then I would say it's fine. Any opportunity that's going to give you a leg up as far as what you're learning, the training, all that kind of stuff. Especially if they're going to pay for your licenses, all that kind of stuff. I think those are all positives. So you definitely want to take advantage of those. Now, will you stay the entire time? You probably won't. And that's okay. I think part of the problem with, and give me just a second here. I'm definitely tracking with you. I just realized that I want to do something here. Part of the problem with the way that the industry markets things for you guys is that it seems like it's a kind of like an all or nothing, how do I want to say this? Because there's a way that I'm thinking about saying this. So the industry's really focused on getting you to attract clients so that they can build, they want you to build a practice so they can get the AUM. Okay, that's just the nuts and bolts of it, okay? And I think, although in order to help people, you do have to sign them up and you do have to get their accounts and all this other kind of stuff. I totally get that. But, where's the focus? Is the focus on helping them, or is the focus on the profitability of it? And I think, unfortunately, Primerica's and Northwesterns and all these Mass Mutuals, all these firms, and I can name them all, they put out this message that I just don't feel that it comes across to you, James, and other people as the most authentic. And I think that's where most of these questions come from. I'm just throwing something in the chat real quick. The problem with that is that a lot of people end up saying, oh, I really want to be in financial services. I really want to help people. And then you get into a job or a career opportunity that doesn't really fit who you are and what you want to do. And it gives you a bad taste in your mouth and all this other kind of stuff. And you end up, kind of flaming out or, not having the best experience. So I think that where you start is not as important as you finding out first why you really want to do this. What is your motivation for really getting into this industry? Who's the type of person that you ultimately want to serve, and what do you want to do for them? All those are really great questions to ask first, James, before you accept an opportunity with anybody. Because it's going to be pretty much table stakes that people are going to, train you on how to sell their products and call you and say that you can call yourself a financial advisor and sponsor you for your exams. But then that's going to be over at some point. And then you're going to be 2 years, 3 years in the game, maybe less. And you're going to be like, what do I want to do next? Right? And that's where answering those first 3 questions I gave you is going to help the most. So hopefully that helps, sir. We've got a question from Erica here. You guys camera shy here? You guys, nobody wants to call in? That's okay. I can answer this way. Either way. Let's see. If you're just joining, make sure you hit that like button or dislike button. I just want the engagement up. I don't really care what you hit. To be honest, I don't. You're not going to hurt my feelings either way. Okay. Erica says, I'm seeing a lot of job postings where they are expecting applicants to have their CFP or to be enrolled in a CFP program. Perhaps that's why people are going after the CFP first. Oh, this goes to the poll about education. Yeah, that could be possible. I think that is definitely a signal, right, to your firm owners. And let me just be real clear here, because I've probably been misinterpreted with my stance on this as far as education or experience. Really, the answer is not whether or not which one should I do, Dominique, but whether it really should be do both, right? Most people have the capacity in their 168-hour week to do both. Sometimes you don't. And if you had to choose, I'm going to tell you to lean towards experience versus education for a lot of different reasons. But let's just unpack this question real quick. Or really a comment. I think the CFP is by far the gold standard for financial planners and for firms that focus on comprehensive financial planning or wealth management, any of those names that you want to give it, but you're basically giving people or creating financial plans. That is going to be that's going to be a signal to any of those firms for people that have either already started down that path or are really, really keen to go down that path. But there's so many other, jobs inside the financial services industry that don't necessarily relate to client-facing, using a CFP or using the CFP marks behind your name. So that's where I say, if you don't know for certain that you want to be a financial planner and create financial plans, why would you go spend very close to 5 figures in 2 years of your life on something that you don't know if you want to do it or not? If you know you want to do it, then go down that path. As a matter of fact, I would say do both. Like do stuff like internships and do your CFP, because it's definitely doable. I mean, I did that while I had a job working, 60 plus hours a week, yada, yada, yada. So you can definitely do it. You have the time for it. It's just a matter of knowing what you want to do. So I think that's where it really comes into play, Erica. And here's another thing. Try this on for size. Just because you're going down the CFP path or just because you passed the test does not guarantee you a spot on that roster, right? They're not hiring you just because of that. I mean, it would be nice if they were, if there were those type of guarantees, but they're just not. There are a lot of different fits that firm owners look for aside from the CFP. Now, CFP is great to have, especially if that's what they're looking for. They're looking to build a team of CFPs. But there could be other people or other firm owners that are looking for, different aspects or different skill sets within their team to build. And it'd be wise for you to, if you're targeting a firm, to kind of figure out what they're needing, what they're looking for. All goes back to what we said at the top of this. Find out what they need, what they're looking for before you start your path of, before you start your journey, because you could be spending a lot of money and time. And granted, you're going to spend some time, you're going to spend some money, but you want to spend it wisely, I guess is my point. Eric, let's put you up there, sir. There we go. Should I consider taking the SIE before getting my first FA job as a career changer? SIE is the Securities Industry Essentials exam for those that don't know. And it is required for any broker dealer you're going to work for. So if you're going to be sponsored, if you got to take like the 7 or the 6, you're going to have to take the SIE. So if you're going to work for one of those type of firms, you have to take it. So I would say go ahead and do it. I don't think it could hurt. A lot of people have asked me this question, and my answer is the same. I don't think it could hurt. If you don't know that you're going to work for a broker dealer, or you don't want to work for a broker dealer, then don't take it, because you don't have to. So there's that. That was easy. What else we got, folks? We're going to do the, let's see how many people texted for the giveaway. Oh my gosh, is this 2 people with the same number? How does that happen? Now remember, it's the closest without going over, okay? So when I announce this, don't go like, oh, Dominique, I was the closest. No, it's the closest without going over, okay? I said that 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, whenever I announced that, okay? Do we need some more people on that? Hold on a second. You can still text now. I gotta find my screen that I had that on. Hold on a second. I got a billion things up here. Let's see. Let me find it. Give me a minute here. Let's play a little music while we're doing that. All right, so we're looking for the person closest to this number without going over. Oh, I'm not gonna give you the number yet, by the way. We're gonna still play this game for a little bit. So that's where you should be. Okay. All right. Let me turn that off now. Okay, so that's the number that you should be texting to. So you can text that number for your swag. Okay, we're still doing that for a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna hop to refresh myself before my podcast interview. No, James, you're gonna have to text it in. You gotta text it in. You gotta text it into the 214 number. You gotta follow all the same rules as everybody else. You can't put it in the chat. Okay. Do I have any more questions here? Any more thoughts around the value as a career changer? This is going to be part of a new framework that I create around what I'm calling the career changer blueprint. Because I just want you guys, so at the end of the day, what Dominique wants is everybody to have access to good financial advice, right? That's why my t-shirt says this. What is real financial advice? You see that there? It's relatable, empathetic, attentive, listening. I think everybody should have access to that. And the reason I believe that is because good financial advice changes family trees. Plain, that's indisputable. But we need more people in this industry that think that way, and there doesn't need to be any impediment. So why not a person like myself, give you the stuff behind the Wizard of Oz green curtain so that you can be successful. So that's kind of that's the gist here. That's why we do what we do. Because I think, the Jameses and the Carols of the world, the Ericas, all you guys that are in the chat, it's imperative that you guys be able to get into this industry, especially if you want to get in. So that is that. Okay. So give me just a second here. I'm going to check something since we have time and we're just chilling. Jose, I see your question. We're going to get to it in just a second. You're next up. Okay. Thank you for hanging. I just realized that although I thought that this was streaming to my other platforms, that it is not. So I'll have to fix that the next time. That absolutely sucks. So I'm sorry. I apologize if you were on LinkedIn or my Facebook page and you were waiting for the live stream to happen. I apologize that you did not get it. That is my bad. It looks like it only came to the YouTube channel. So I will figure out that the next time, and we will I'll beg your forgiveness for that particular faux pas. Okay, I apologize. I just realized this. I got a notification. I was like, why is that not happening? Okay. So anyways, let's go back to, so we got a couple things to do before we wind it up. We got to give away the swag, and actually we just got to give away the swag. That's the only thing left on my agenda. And I'm going to answer some more questions. Okay. Jose, let's get you up here, sir. Give me a minute. Let's take this off. Jose's question is, excuse me. Let me take this off too. There we go. I'm looking to become a financial professional, but my main passion is in the cryptocurrency field. What are your thoughts on the crypto market? Ooh, okay. First of all, crypto as an asset class is fine. I think you do well to learn about it. I think all financial professionals, if you're going to be managing people's money specifically, it's good to have, dinner party working knowledge or better about it. So those are my thoughts on the crypto market. As far as what your passion is, I mean, do you, man? So this is what I will caution you on, because I've seen it before. This is my 20th year in the industry, and I've seen a lot. So what I would caution you on is the hype around crypto being a fad, not crypto itself. I believe it's an asset class. I believe it has some place in a person's portfolio for, especially if you're building a long-term investment strategy. However, the amount of attention and buzz that it's getting right now, as opposed to just about anything else, CBD, marijuana stocks, gold, the whole copper commodity craze that happened. Like, dude, I can keep on going on and on and on. We've had all these over time, and I think you just have to watch what you're going to build your niche around. because can you sustain a practice with something that is getting let's say it's time in the sun right now. That's the only thing I would caution against. But if you go through all the channels that you need to, you're going to have to have a Series 65 at a minimum to open up an RIA that deals with investing people's money, especially when it comes to investing it in crypto. So there's that. But I mean, otherwise, I would say have at it, man. Have at it. Good luck with all that. Eric again, all about, let's see. I don't really understand your question. It's not really a question though. It looks like it's more like a comment. So, maybe you want to unpack that a little bit while we're still here. Okay. So, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get a drum roll, because that's what we need to do for the giveaway, right? We need to have like a drum roll, type of deal. And I don't have one right now. So I have all this other kind of cool stuff, but I don't have a drum roll. So drum roll, please. You can kind of imagine the drum roll. The number is, for the giveaway, is 267. So let's go to the... Eric, you are being a smart aleck with the decimal points. Only whole integers, sir. I'm looking through. Hold on a second. And I'm sorry if you didn't... I already said the number. You can't throw anything else in. So, James, you didn't text me. So your 2 doesn't count. You wouldn't have won anyway. All right. So the closest without going over is Carol Jones. So congratulations to Carol Jones. If you're still listening, you won the swag. You get the nice little coffee mug, all the stuff that we showed earlier. So congrats to Carol. We'll get an address for you and get that stuff out to you. Okay? Cool beans. All right. Congratulations. All right. Now, what do I want to say in parting as we wind this thing down? Yeah, you did. You're on fire here. So here's the deal. I think what I want to leave you guys with is a couple things. First of all, I highly recommend the book, The Big Leap. I want you to read that, guys. Thank you, Jackie, for taking care of all that. I appreciate you. Okay, so yes, read The Big Leap. I think it has some takeaways beyond what we talked about tonight that I think would really they'll be additive to your reservoir of knowledge that you're building as this career changer, aspiring financial professional, next gen financial professional. It's just stuff that you should know that is talked about in that book that I think will be really helpful for you, and to just make that picture that I showed you a lot more concrete as it applies to you and your journey. Okay? So there's that. The next thing I want you to start thinking about is the next interview, the next job board post you read, the next interaction you have with the decision maker that can give you a job in this industry. I want you to be aware of the value you bring to the table and how they may be looking at you on the other end as that negative ROI for the next 6 to 9 months. And how can you shrink that? How can you condense that, flatten the learning curve, whatever you want to call it, to where it's not 6 months, but it's 3 months, right? I'm giving you an example of me when I came in, and that project was going to take 6 months, but we did it in 45 days. I want you to be thinking about that. And that's going to be the type of questions that you're asking. Like, what strategies are you guys employing to kind of, or what do you guys think you're not really good at that you want to improve in on the next 12 months? Or what's the segment of client that you haven't been able to reach yet, but you really feel like you would do them a real good service? Like, ask those type of questions. And I don't care where you ask them in the interview. It doesn't really matter, actually. If you ask them at the beginning, in the middle, the end, doesn't matter. If you got them engaged in the conversation, ask the question. I want you guys to be set up for success. Okay. What else? There was something else from that. And research, right? Before you go to the organization, research them. Spend time. I mean, a couple of weekends, the equivalent of a couple of weekends, right? You should, their website, all the social media they're putting out on all the platforms that they're on, researching the people, the members of the firm, particularly on LinkedIn, right? So you can easily kind of break down some stuff. Actually, let me just show you how to do this real quick. Would you guys like that? Let me show you how to do this. How I would go about doing this real quick. And I'm just going to pick a random firm to show you what I'm talking about. Y'all still hanging? We're an hour and a half in. You guys are troopers. Troopers. I didn't know how long I was going to do this. Give me a minute. Figure out how I want to parlay this. I know I want to share my screen, but I want to make myself smaller. Okay. First of all, we need to be on that one. Nope, we don't. How do I do this? Give me a second, guys. Okay. All right, there we go. I think that's what I want to do. Here. Okay. And now let me put myself back on real quick. You guys are seeing behind the scenes. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. All right. I'm going to hang out right there. Now, you should be seeing my my screen share. And if somebody can kind of just give me a thumbs up that is exactly what you see in the chat, that would be helpful, just so I'm not necessarily on social media real time to see what I am seeing, what you guys are seeing live. So, somebody let me know if you can see my screen. I don't want to go into this and you're not seeing it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to go in my feed. This is my LinkedIn feed. And I'm going to find a firm, and I'm going to show you, if I was a firm owner, what I would be trying to do. Let me just find a firm owner that has more than one employee. Oh, actually, let's do this. I know what we can do. And this is putting him on the spot a little bit, but I know he doesn't mind. Lawrence. I just interviewed him today, and I know he has more than one person. Okay, so this is Lawrence. He's the firm owner. And how do I know he's the firm owner? Well, you're going to have to do some research, right? So when you go to his LinkedIn profile, you see, this is who ELS Vision Wealth Management, that's his firm. That's his first employer. That's going to be always what LinkedIn shows is the very current employer that you're with. And then the very last place you went to school. So he's president wealth planning advisor. That's his title. Still don't know if he's owner or not per se. The thing I would do is I would click on ELS Vision Wealth Management and go to their LinkedIn page. That's what I would do first. The likelihood that a firm owner is investing enough time and energy to make sure that the link that you click to beyond their own personal profile to their firm's page, it's high. Even if it's not, even if it doesn't have anything here, like his is not showing that much here, there we got the website. So that's where we go next. Okay. So when I'm on this website, then I can start to go, okay, let me look at this. And I go, one of the first places I'm going to go is the about section for our team. So then that's how I figure out who is who. So he's obviously the firm owner. Then we've got his executive assistant. Okay, so we're trying to see, okay, now we're seeing the layout of his team. So one of the first things I would do is I would make a note of how many people are in the team. And these are the other social profiles that I would be looking into after I finish doing my research on this firm. Okay. So one of the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do our approach, because that's going to give me the philosophy of his firm. Like, how does he handle clients? Who is he looking for? What is their planning process? Are they a planning firm or not? Blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. Okay. So he's got all this nice rubric here that he spent a lot of time and energy, obviously, on this element of planning that they do for their ideal clients. You need to study this. You need to understand how this is different from other firms, right? So you might want to pick up another firm that is, maybe in the same space as him, or maybe even not, but just another firm, so you can kind of see the difference in philosophies. This is something really good to do, okay? Then he got some downloads. Download our 6-step process. I would definitely download that. Learn more about our 6-step process. This might be a call to action to actually, probably go to the firm. Next. So he's got another thing, our philosophy. So he talks through this. Our services. So all this about, you need to spend time here. He's even telling you who he targets. He targets business owners. He targets professionals. It looks like he does employer-sponsored plans. So he's in the 401k, retirement plan space, 403bs maybe, all that kind of stuff. So you do well to kind of know about that before you go ask for an interview, or at least know where he's trying to build his firm. One of those questions you might want to ask is, what size employer-sponsored plans are you trying to get into? What have you found difficult with breaking into those plans, and where could somebody potentially fit in to help you reach that particular segment? These are the kind of questions you would ask Lawrence, or whoever on his team is going to be in charge of new talent. The other thing I think is kind of cool here is if you're researching these people, you're going through all of them, their profiles, and see, they even got videos. So you would play the video, you would listen to what they say. So you guys are hopefully getting what I'm saying here. I think hopefully it's not lost on you at this point. Oops, my music keeps on coming on. Okay. We'll get to that in just a second. It's a nice little outro. So, so that's where I want you guys to focus going forward to make yourself even more valuable to this industry than you already are going to be. Okay? So, Carol won. Happy, or congratulations, Carol. And we will see you guys next time. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. So there's a couple things you can do. I didn't do this, but let me go ahead and do this real quick. So we have, let me give you the email. Oops. So this is where your inquiries need to go. If I can spell. Right there. So if you're watching the replay and you're like, he said some good stuff. What about that? What about that? What about this? Send me an email. We'll take care of it. We'll answer the emails. We answer all our emails. We read all our emails. So definitely we'll answer whatever question you have, or, make sure that your question is relevant. I want to say this real quick because I think I've talked about this before. I don't mind answering all my emails, which I do. I do it with pleasure. I remember when I didn't get emails, so I'm happy to get them. But ask a question. That's one thing. It's like, or if you're just saying, hey Dom, thanks for whatever, or you're giving me a nice review or something like that. Oh, I want to show you reviews. We have some 5-star reviews, and I want to give a shout out to those people. So we'll do that in just a second before I wind up. Tell you guys, my brain is all scattered. But ask a question. Like, I would love to help you. I would love to say, that I really can't help you. I would love to make that determination. But if you don't ask a question, or if you give me a really, really long email that I'm like, I'll have to read that later, I'll get to it later, then that just lowers your chances of getting help. So be to the point. Unless you paid for a consultation, in which case you got my brain and my attention for 30 minutes, Don't give me one of those big long emails. Just, get to the point. hello@jumpstartcoachinglab.com. Hey Dom, what about this? You said this on the show about this minute marker. Better yet, send me the minute marker in the video that you're talking about. That'd be perfect. Because a lot of times people ask me questions about videos that I've done like a long time ago. And I'm like, I'm not going to go watch that video again to answer that question. So if you have a video question, then you need to attach the video with your question in the email. And preferably the minute marker where I said whatever I said. So I'm willing to be helpful, but you got to meet me halfway. You got to meet me halfway. I've got going on 3 years of content on YouTube and a big library. Like, dude, yes, I say a lot of this stuff at the same time, but there's just no way for me to keep up with all that. Okay. The reviews. Let's get to the reviews. I'm going to throw out my celebrate real quick. So we got some cool reviews. And first of all, I am just honored that people spent the time to give me these reviews. And I would be remiss if I did not shout them out for this. And it's good publicity for the channel, right? We are doing good work over here, ladies and gents. So shout out to Carla Boyd, to Carrie Kunkel. Carrie recently started working for Morgan Stanley. And Michael Hart also. All of these people. Now, granted, you guys can leave a review if you go to how do you get to this? Jackie, how do they get to the Google review? I think you can just go to Google and you can put Jumpstart Coaching Lab and you can leave a review. Specifically, community members. Obviously, if you haven't worked with me or if you're not inside the community, there's nothing to leave a review about. But any of my past alumni for professional development program or anything, you can leave a Google review. And obviously, this does help. This feeds the Google/YouTube algorithm beast, which we love to do. We got to give them. It's always like you got to pay your tribute to the to the YouTube Google algorithm so that they continue to do what they need to do and show people your videos and all this other kind of stuff. So hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Just keep it engaged while we're live. That's all I care about. And leave a review if you want to. So yeah, you can go to, I think you can just kind of go to Google actually. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can just go to Google. And Google will, let me see if this is right. I'm just going to type in, here we go. Here? Is this where I want to be? Yeah, here we go. So if I go the Jumpstart Coaching Lab. Yeah, see, there you go. You can go over here and you can write a review. See there? You can widen that. Write a review. So very much appreciated if you want to do that. I think that's the best way to get there. Okay, ladies and gents, I'm going to go drink some tea. I have a podcast interview and then I got to go to bed. This was super fun. We will always improve it. We'll continue to make it better. Thank you for participating. And we'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye-bye.